Speaking of old school cartoonishly evil sleazeballs, here's an old school cartoonishly incompetent geriatric man, Joseph Robinette Brandon. You might have forgotten about him. You might have thought he was dead. He is very much alive, it seems. He is back. He is back. Biden prepares for first post-presidency speech.
This afternoon, President Biden set to make one of his first public appearances since leaving office. He's scheduled to deliver remarks on Social Security in Chicago. This comes as Democrats warn the Trump administration is making cuts at the agency that provides those benefits. The president has repeatedly said he won't touch Social Security benefits. So we want to bring in ABC News political director Avery Harper with all of this. And Avery, this is an interesting first event back for President Biden. Why choose this event, and what do we expect him to say?
All right, well, this is going to be at a conference that is for an advocacy group that is about strengthening and protecting Social Security. We know that for Democrats, that has been a strong part of their messaging, the concerns that they've.
I really hope he says he's running. He's going to run again because his job in Israel is not done. This Trump guy, he didn't do enough Israel, and he didn't do NATO. Watch me. I am alive, and I'll be back. I'm back again. Gonna protect Israel. Gonna protect Ukraine. I'll show that thug Vladimir Putin what's what. I'll do NATO. I'll do NATO 10 times over. I'll make Ryan Ruth's legacy a long-lasting one. I have it on good authority. I got 1,000 NATO-trained Afghan troops ready to go in my command. Took them over from my favorite supporter, Ryan Ruth. I guess both Trump and Biden have called the president of Ukraine a dictator for different reasons. Trump because he loves Vladimir Putin, and Biden because his brain was melting and he was like, President of Ukraine, Vladimir Putin.
Raised about what the Trump administration says, or what the Trump administration could do to Social Security, especially some of those concerns that there are about DOGE cuts, things like the possibility of office closures, changes to how people have to verify themselves in order to receive their Social Security benefits. Those are concerns that folks say could impact how people receive those benefits. And so we expect to hear President Biden and former President Biden speak to that tonight. Also interested to hear what more he might say about this current administration. We know that President Trump has said a lot about former President Biden and his administration and about what it meant for the current state of this country. So interested to see what he will have to say about this current administration.
Avery, you and I talked on the air yesterday about those events we've seen from Bernie Sanders and AOC and these events.
I did the NATOization of Finland. Man, I miss doing the Brandon voice, chat. Have y'all noticed? It's been so long. I'll do 9/11, Jack. I'll do 9/11 9 times over. It's like Grandpa. He's going to tell us how he did AUKUS, dude. I can't wait for him to talk about Five Eyes. Watch me. Hopefully his defense of Social Security is as passionate as his defense of the state of Israel. Nothing will be as passionate as his defense of Israel. I'm telling, dude. Trump likes Israel because Sheldon and Miriam Adelson give him money. It's that simple. Biden is a die-in-the-wool, straightforward ultra-Zionist, which is extra crazy because he's fucking Catholic, which means he, out of all the Christians, is the least likely to be Zionist. It makes no sense. Not true? Dude, come on. In comparison, Catholics, an Irish Catholic in comparison to the average American evangelical, Catholics are not supposed to be this diehard for Israel at all. The Pope literally called it a fucking genocide. What are we talking about? He's Irish Catholic too, on top of everything else. It makes no goddamn sense. His faith and loyalty in Israel is insane, okay? Uh-oh.
Folks, you know, it's no surprise that he did a hell of a job when I asked him to be commissioner of the Social Security. And the reason I did that, it's not an ordinary transition for a governor.
Bro, he looks so daring.
I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I knew he needed someone with some guts, some toughness, who'd fight for every single penny that it needed, that would try to restore the integrity of the system. And to everyone here today, I want to thank you, all of you, very much for this award. It means a great deal to me coming from you. And I mean that sincerely. It means a great deal. You're in the front lines every single day. You're helping. You're advocating for your fellow Americans, Americans with disability. It's a big deal. We talk about what happened in the physical side of it if we didn't have Social Security. Think of what the psychic calm it gives so many people who just don't know where to go, don't know how to traverse what needs to be done, or alone. Last fall, on the White House lawn, we celebrated the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. As a United States Senator 400 years ago, I was looking back on it. God almighty, I've been doing this 50 years. It's hell turning 40 years old, anyway. But back in the year 1990, I was the co-sponsor of the Americans with Disabilities Act as a United States Senator. In my view, and I suspect many of you, it was one of the most consequential civil rights laws in American history. That's what got me involved in politics in the first place. Delaware, like Maryland, was one of those states, it was a slave state. We had all the vestiges of what was going on back in the day. We were one of those states that still, I remember moving from Scranton, Pennsylvania down to Wilmington, Delaware, and Cole died. My dad moved back to where we could get a job. I remember I pulled into, my mom would drive us on the Filton in Philadelphia, and we lived in an apartment complex. And she'd drive us it was only about a half a mile to Holy Rosary School in Claymont. But it was so dangerous, she wouldn't let us walk up because of access road. I remember pulling into the parking lot.
Dude, this is crazy.
I'd never seen hardly any black people in Scranton at the time when I was only going in fourth grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by. They never turned right to go to Claymont High School. I wondered why. I asked my mom, why? So in Delaware, they're not allowed to go to school, in public school, with white kids, honey. That sparked my sense of outrage as a kid, just like it does, and these young kids right here can tell you things affect them when they learn about something that's really just unfair and unjust. You know, my dad was an honorable man. And my dad used to have an expression. He said, Joey, your job's about a lot more.
How is he not dead yet? I don't understand. I really thought he would have been dead by now.
It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean it. Well, that's what you're all about. That's what the legislation's about. It's about dignity. Simple dignity. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity, regardless of their standing, regardless of their economic situation, regardless of who they are. Making sure that more than 60 million Americans who are living with disabilities are treated with dignity is who we are as Americans. That's what it's about. Folks, today I want to talk to you about an issue that's front and center right now for millions of Americans. Social Security. You know, some of you may know the Democrats have declared today the Save Social Security National Action Day. National Day of Action, I should say. We know just how much Social Security matters to people's lives. Everyone in this room fights for people with disabilities who rely on Social Security to survive. To survive. Not just the physical side, it's the mental side. It's the mental side. You make sure folks get the benefits they earn after a lifetime of hard work. The work they do is more than just a profession, what you do. It's a calling. It's not just a profession. And Social Security is more than a government program. It's a sacred promise. We made it a sacred promise. 73 million Americans receive Social Security. From their first paycheck through their entire life, they pay into Social Security. And in return, they count on Social Security to be for them when they're going to need it. Folks, must never, ever betray that trust or turn our backs on that obligation. That's why during my presidency, we protected Social Security and made it stronger.
His audio dial is busted. He just keeps yelling randomly or whispering, so it's impossible to regulate the audio.
Lowest staffing, she referenced it. Lowest staffing levels in 50 years. And demand was going through the roof because of my generation and the baby boom generation reaching the retirement age. So the demands on Social Security increased significantly. Our administration secured nearly $2 billion to reduce the backlogs and improve customer service. We slashed wait times for folks in need who are calling the 1-800 number. We got it down to under 13 minutes. It used to be 3 times that long when we took office. We made it easier for people to get help with their claims online. We reduced how long it takes to review a case. We fixed the appeal system to make it uniform in all 50 states, which made a difference. We strengthened the anti-fraud measures to protect people's identities and to make sure benefits are going to people who actually they belong to. By the way, those 300-year-old folk getting that Social Security, I want to meet them because I like to figure out how they live out. Hell of a thing, man. I'm looking for longevity because it's hell when you turn 40 years old. But as a result, by the time we left office, we had improved every single line of customer service, from applying for disability to filing an appeal to reporting fraud. It all became more efficient and more effective. And I'll bet it made your jobs easier, too, in the process. Now, these achievements may not sound so glamorous to most people, but you know, they're absolutely essential. In my view, one of the most important jobs of any elected official is to make sure the government works for the people, works for all people. It's understandable. They can understand what it is. And then we keep our promises to the people, to all the people. That's exactly what we did, thanks to all of you. I also signed into law the Social Security Fairness Act.
What's the point of this speech? Literally nothing. It's an exercise in masturbation, and predictably, liberals are actually masturbating right now. The fact that this has 13,000 viewers is shocking. You might say, "Oh, Cory Booker got 100,000. Who cares?" But the very fact that this has more than 10 viewers is unironically yet another instance where I don't have a lot of faith in the Democratic Party's base of support. There shouldn't be more than a single person watching this. To be fair, you have 36,000 viewers watching it right now. Yeah, and it sucks.
5 years and then wait around and be...
Wait, he's dead.
By the way, he's a billionaire. God love him as my...
Yeah, he's this ACP behind him. He's the American Communist Party. He's a MAGA communist now.
Billionaires, I don't know he's paying. But when he talked about the possibility of the Social Security checks not going out this month, he shrugged it off. Here's what he said. He said his 94-year-old mother-in-law wouldn't complain, wouldn't bother her. She's probably a lovely woman. No kidding.
Can you believe this guy was the president, dude?
What about that 94-year-old mother living all by herself? Doesn't have a billionaire in the family. Or all the retirees who depend on that monthly check to feed themselves.
How is he still going?
Disabilities.
How is he still going?
What about all those people? That's who you fight for. So those who desperately need you. And folks, it's not just the Secretary of Commerce. We heard how others, empowered and emboldened by this administration, talk about Social Security. One of them called it a Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi scheme? What the hell are they talking about? People earn these benefits. They paid into that benefit. They rely on that benefit. And no one should take it away. You know, Franklin Roosevelt had a different view. He was president coming out of the Great Depression. He and all his colleagues saw great suffering, so much poverty. He also took steps to raise standard of living for ordinary Americans, including creating Social Security. He himself was from a very wealthy family.
Never forget that this man's unimaginable selfishness and also insane loyalty to the state of Israel caused both a genocide to continue and subsequently his love and loyalty for Israel's endless appetite for baby murder caused Donald Trump to become the president. Like, I will never forgive this demon. I will never forget, and I will never forgive this asshole. This piece of shit is directly responsible for Donald Trump and the mandate that he seemingly got to erode the due process, to shred the First Amendment, to engage in deportations for people who have hurt the feelings of Israel. All of that, his administration set up. If there was any God, if there's any karmic justice, if there any sort of thing like that, if there was any sort of divine justice, this asshole would be feeling the pain. But of course, because he's demented, he doesn't even get to understand what happened to his legacy. He probably in his mind still thinks he's fucking president.
My friend Governor O'Malley knows what they're really up to. He says, and I love his quote, they want to wreck it so they can rob it. They want to wreck it so they can rob it. Why do they want to rob it? In order to deliver huge tax cuts to billionaires and big corporations and keep it going. They want to make permanent the 2017 tax cuts, which overwhelmingly benefited the wealthiest Americans and the biggest corporations. That's going to cost $5 trillion. Where are they going to get $5 trillion to pay for it? Other than continue to run the deficit up. Well, where they always do, by running up the national debt, number one, and then by taking the money from someplace else. What are the two big pots of money out there in raw numbers? Social Security and Medicaid. Well, from other programs that people rely on and have paid into. Republicans, or these guys, are willing to hurt the middle class and the working class in order to deliver significant greater wealth to the already very wealthy. Who in the hell do they think they are? I really think I mean, just basic decency. Who do they think they are? I think anybody should go out. They can make it $1 billion a year. They can, fine. Pay your fair share. You know what the average, we have 1,000 billionaires in America. You know the average federal tax they pay?
I'm going to talk about 4chan after this.
8.2%. Anybody want to trade that number? What you're paying?
Is he missing a tooth? I don't know. It looks like it. I saw that too on the left side of his mouth, right?
So long, but just anyway. I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania as a kid.
All right, I'm done. Fuck this asshole. All right, I will never forgive and I will never forget.